Hi, my name is Nicholas. Welcome to this week's Yin Practice. For props for today, I suggest having a soft block, maybe one or two of your hard blocks as well. And we'll get started right away. So we're going to come into a child's pose. And for today's child's pose, I'll invite you to have the knees close together. So they can be all the way together. You can keep a little distance if that feels good. And then hips towards the heels. Slowly start to lower the chest down onto the thighs. And you can have one or two of your blocks nearby. See what you need to support the head. If the head comfortably reaches the floor, then that's fine too. If you're finding that the hips are lifting up off the heels, then you might choose to slide a prop there as well. And start to settle yourself in here. Find the expression of the shape that feels the most comfortable. So, if that's arms forward or arms back, extended or bent or anything else, then go for it. If you do start to feel pinching or anything like that and you need to modify your shape, then you're always welcome to do that. Otherwise, as you're ready, you start to find your stillness here. And start to notice the body and take that scan through from the feet to the head just to check in. See if you could use a little more time here. Otherwise, as you feel ready, you can bring the hands down to the floor, slowly lift the body up, and you can come to a tabletop position. And from your tabletop, just check in for a few breaths. Maybe you want a few rounds of a cat cow or a little wiggle of the spine side to side. And when you're ready, we'll step the left foot forward between the hands. You might shift that right knee a little further back. So find your version of a lunge, find whatever feels the most comfortable, and then you can bring a block in for each hand or with the fingertips to the floor and start to lift the spine a little more upright and let the hips be really heavy here. You can use any height setting for your props so you can come all the way upright or you can be partially forward. Check in with the body here, check in with that right hip flexor and with the left. Just make sure that it feels like a pain-free expression, even if it's a little bit intense. Notice if any other part of the body needs a little adjustment here just to make the shape a little more comfortable. Notice if the shoulders are starting to shrug, maybe you can soften them down a little bit. Be with whatever you're feeling here. Be with your breath. All right. Gently release the arms. You can release the hands back down. And you can release the left knee back to join the right. And check in here. Maybe again a little snaking of the spine side to side, a little cat cow, maybe a visit to child's pose or something else. As you're ready, we'll find the second side. So you can step the right foot forward between the hands. You can shift the left knee back. You can add padding for the back knee and work from fingertips or mirror whatever expression you did on the first side. So maybe finding your blocks in an upright spine. Letting the pelvis be nice and heavy here. Notice the stretch through the left hip and the right. Make sure it feels like a pain-free expression. All right. Gently release the hands back down. Gently step the right foot to the back of the mat. And again, take a few breaths just to release. And then from here, as you're ready, you can walk the knees back a little bit, lower the pelvis down to the floor, and we'll set up for Sphinx pose. So setting the elbows up roughly underneath the shoulders. You can always take them further forward if you want a less intense back bend. Hands can be together, or forearms can be parallel. And see if this feels like plenty, you can stay right here. Another option for a deeper expression would be to bring some props underneath your elbows. There's also the option for seal pose where you'll have the hands to the floor with the elbows lifted. So find the expression that you want to explore for today. And find the expression for the neck, the upper spine that feels best here too. Notice if the shoulders are shrugging up or if there's just a lot of tension through the upper back. See what you can do to soften that down, make the shape be a little more passive. Maybe closing down the eyes as well. See if you'd benefit from a little more time here. Otherwise, as you're ready, very delicately lowering the elbows down, lowering the chest, maybe lowering the head. You can come to one of your props or maybe stacked palms. Give the hips a gentle wash side to side, release the low back. As a counter stretch, a half frog might feel nice here, so maybe you're sliding the left knee up towards the left. Let the pelvis be heavy. If you have the left knee out towards the left, you can re-extend and then set up for the second side. And then re-extending the right leg as well. And from here, flip yourself onto your back. Just have your props nearby in case you need them. And take a moment to get comfortable on your back. And then you can scoot the hips over towards the right a few inches. You might choose to take your soft block down between the knees and then start to lower the knees down towards the left. And see what this feels like here. If you need to add an extra prop underneath the knees, then go for it. Arms can be at a T shape, or you can take the right arm to the floor overhead for a little more side body stretch. So find your expression of a twist here, and if you need a different one altogether, that's fine too. Be in your shape and be with your breath. If the right arm is lifted overhead, you can lower that down to center. And then gently squeeze your block. If you're using one, bring the knees back up to midline. And straight away, you can take the hips over to center and then over to the left a few inches and slowly start to lower the knees down towards the right. This side may feel different and it may need a little something different. So, again, take a moment to change your props or add anything extra in that you need. Arms can be in your T shape. If you did so on the first side, then this side, left arm reaches to the floor overhead. Releasing the left arm back down. Squeeze your prop and lift the knees to center. Scoot the hips to midline. If you have a block between the knees, you can let that go now. Maybe take the feet a little wider. Give yourself a windshield wiper side to side. And then for the final shape, which will also be the rest shape, we'll take legs up towards the ceiling. So if you like to use a soft block for this, you can lift up, just place it underneath the pelvis. And sometimes that can make the shape feel more restful. You can also do more height, which will be more like a waterfall pose, and that's fine too. And at any point, if it stops feeling restful as well, then you can lower the legs down and take more of a traditional Shavasana shape. Otherwise, from here, you can bring the knees in towards the chest first. Straight away, you'll know if the prop's not in the right spot, so just make sure it's not digging into the spine. And start to extend the legs up towards the ceiling. The legs don't have to be fully extended. You can actually bend them just as much as you need, and they can even be bent all the way into the chest, almost like the child's pose that we started off, but this time on the back. See if there's anything that needs to adjust a little bit, or if you're not quite ready to settle in, then maybe you want to play with pulsing the feet a little bit, or you can do circles with the ankles. And then see what you want to do with the arms. The arms can also go up towards the ceiling. You can take them to the floor overhead. Just be mindful if you start to get pins and needles or something, you can lower them back down or anywhere else by your side or on the body. Whatever your expression ends up looking like, find your stillness here. the mind has wandered, bring your attention back to the body. As you feel ready to collect the knees into the chest, you can wrap the arms around the shins, give yourself that hug, maybe removing your prop and give yourself a rock side to side here. Happy baby might also feel nice here, so you can reach between the knees, catch hold of feet, ankles, or shins, maybe lifting the feet to point towards the ceiling. And again, you might choose stillness or a rock. You might play with extending one leg and then rebending to extend the other. And take a few breaths wherever you need to be. And then collecting the knees back in, either rolling down to one side or start to rock and roll up the length of the spine. As you're ready, coming to find any comfortable seated position using any of your props for support. Settle the hips, lengthen the spine, soften anything you don't need. And then taking these last few moments of the practice just to take that scan through the body to notice. Hands can stay where they've landed or collect at the heart, maybe bowing the chin towards the chest. And thank you for sharing your breath in your practice today. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for your yin practice. If you have any questions, my name is Nicholas. Please reach out and enjoy the rest of your day.